Welcome to the session. Topic of this session is discounted measures of project worth. There are two types of techniques for measuring the project worth, and we are interested to measure the project worth in terms of the benefits and cost of the different projects, and so that we can identify the best projects which contribute maximum to the organizing agency. Like if we have the project at the national level, so we want to maximize the output or the contribution of the project, and actually the economic planners or policy makers, they are interested to find out the project which contribute maximum, because we have the limited resources, and for this purpose we measure the project worth. And there are two techniques, one is the discounted techniques and another is the undiscounted techniques. Undiscounted techniques, they are simple, but due to the complexity of the projects, they are not able to measure the project worth in two perspective, or they are not able to give the correct or right decision to the policy maker or economic planners or any other organization. And that is why we use the discounted measures of the project worth. And basically the project involve the different timeline for the cost and benefit involved, because projects are basically of longer durations, maybe 5 years or 10 years. So in different projects, they have the different time stream. Some projects produce up to 20 years, some projects produce they have the production life of the 10 years. So how to compare such project which have different time stream? We use the discounted measures of the project worth. So in this session, basically we will be discussing the different methods which we used under the discounting techniques, like the net present worth, the benefit cost ratio, internal rate of return, profitability index, and net benefit investment ratio. These are some of the important discounting measures of the project worth we will be discussing in this session. So like I told you that the projects have variously shaped time stream. The pattern of the cost and benefits in the projects differ from one another during the life of the projects, and projects have different durations, like some projects may be of the 5 years, or some may be of the 10 years or 20 years or 40 years, like irrigation projects of the life durations. So so there is a different some projects the investment in the first year, in some projects may have investment for 5 years, then the production activity starts. So they have the different time streams. So that is the major challenge when we measure the project worth. So for such project, actually we need to adopt the suitable techniques that include the varying time factors, and the discounting technique help us to determine about the acceptance of the project for the implementation, which have the different which have the varying time stream in the projects. So discounted evaluation techniques, they are basically based on the calculation of the cost and benefits after discounting the future stream of the expenditure and income. So in the in discounting techniques, basically what we do, we discount the future stream. So whatever the expenditure and income in the future, in the coming years, we discount them at the present value. We bring the future value in the present value, then we do the different calculation to get some figure to judge the project worthiness. So the considered time value of the money, here we consider the time value of money while calculating cost and return from the projects. And basically the undiscounted method do not distinguish between two projects when overall return is the same from both the projects, but the time of receiving the revenue differs. So if in the undiscounted method we cannot compare the two projects, we have different time stream. Suppose one project providing written only for 5-year duration, but another providing written for 10 years. So there is no as such mechanism in the undiscounted matter. That's why we use the discounted measure. So here you can see the the example for our understanding how the discounting technique is important. So here you can see the cost stream is given, the revenue stream is given, and there are two projects for our example, and we have taken the time duration of the 5 year. And in the project one, we incurred the investment in the first year only, and the return are for 5 years. So first year, second year, third year, or fourth year, we get 2,000 rupees in every years, and in the fifth year we are getting 8,000. So here the measure the output or measure revenue from the project in the fifth year. And in case of the project 2, here the cost stream, the investment we are making in 2 years. In the first year we are making 6,000, in the second year we are making 2,000. So here the investment activity takes 2 years, and the return, when we talk about the second project, in the first year we are getting the 4,000, and the second year we are getting the 4,000, third year we are getting the 4,000, and last 2 year, fourth and the fifth years we are getting 2,000. So in the project 2 we are getting maximum revenue in the earlier period, like in the year 1, 2 and 3, and then the revenue decline in the at the end of the project, like fourth and fifth year. So they have the different time stream. In the project 1 we are getting maximum return in the fifth year, whereas in the project 2 we are getting the maximum return in the earlier period, like year 1, 2 and 3. So for comparing of such project, undiscounted technique, they do not provide any difference. They cannot distinguish between the different time streams, but while considering the time value of money in the discounting technique, we can compare them by considering the time value of money. So how to measure the cash flow or discounted cash flow of the project worth. Now let us start. The most common means of doing this for measuring the discounted cash flow measure, actually we subtract year by year the cost from the benefit to arrive at the incremental net benefit stream, so called the cash flow. So actually when we minus the cost from the benefit every year, we get the net benefit, net incremental net benefit. We get the incremental net benefit for every year, or we also call that an incremental net benefit as in a cash flow. And then after getting this cash flow for every year, we discount the cash flow. We do the discounting of the cash flow, and this approach basically by calculating the discounted cash flow, that give us 3 important discounted flow measures of the project. One is the net present worth, another is the net internal rate of return, and third is the net benefit investment ratio. This, by calculating this present worth of the cash flow, we can get the information about the three project worth, discounted project worth methods, like net present worth, internal rate of return, and net benefit investment ratio. So another discounted measure of the project worth is the benefit cost ratio. And to find out the benefit cost ratio, we first find out the present worth of the cost, and then we also find out the present worth of the benefit stream separately. First we have to find out the present worth of the cost, and then we find out the present worth of the benefit, and then we divide the present worth of the benefit stream by the present worth of the cost stream. So for calculating the benefit cost ratio, we divide the present worth of benefit with the present worth of the cost. So benefit cost ratio is basically discounted measure of the project worth, because here we are using the discounted benefit and cost stream. And benefit cost ratio is not discounted cash flow techniques, because the benefit and cost streams are discounted separately. So in the cash flow, we are first subtracting the benefit from the cost from the benefit, then we are discounting. But here what we are doing, we are separately discounting the benefit stream and cost stream, then we are getting the ratio. So cash flow are yearly net benefit accrued from the project. If they are weighted by the discount rate, they become the discounted cash flow. And this discounted cash flow are the best estimates to decide on the worth of the project, and this approach will give the net present worth of the project, and the present worth of the cost is subtracted from the present worth of the benefit to arrive at the net present worth of the project every year. And for the annual stream of the gross benefit of the project, the capital invested and the other input invested are deducted, and then from the residual, the return of capital and return on capital or return to capital are computed, and this residual is called cash flow for the project. And in the financial analysis, the cash flow is the net incremental benefit of the project, but in case of the accounting, this term implies the sum of the cash flow of the project plus depreciation allowances. So in the financial analysis, the concept of cash flow include both return of capital and return to capital. So actually in the cash flow, actually both the things are there, the initial investment, and then based on then how much time actually time or how we are recovering our investment, and then how much we are getting from that investment. So both the things are included in the cash flow. In the economic analysis, we do not deduct the depreciation or interest because we consider them as the transfer payment, and because our analytical techniques automatically take care of the return of the capital in determining the worth of the projects. And here basically in case of the economic analysis, we do not include the income taxes, the sales taxes or custom duty, because they are basically the transfer payment. And the financial analysis basically with H, the objective is to estimate the return of all the resources employed in the project. So whatever the resources we are using, we want to see return on that resources. And here in case of the financial analysis, we include the borrowed capital as a benefit because we are getting some money from the others. So we treat the borrowed capital as a benefit, while its interest is considered as a cost. So whatever the interest we are making, payment we are making, that is considered as a cost, and it deducted from the gross return. And all prices are market prices in case of the financial analysis. And we also include the taxes and subsidy in the financial analysis. But in case of the economic analysis, we do not consider the borrowed capital because we have the assumption that the borrowed capital is basically transfer payment. It is not the income, because as a national or as a national economy, because we are transferring money from one person to another, so one organization to another. And in case of the economic economic analysis, the prices of the sum of the input we calculate based on the shadow prices. Now we will move to our 4 or 5 major discounting techniques. We will discuss later the net present worth, and that is the number 1, and this is simply the present worth of the cash flow stream, like we have discussed earlier. Sometimes we call the net present worth as a net present value also, and basically the net present worth is helpful in working out the benefit cases of the project also. And the selection criteria of the project is depend on the positive value of the net present worth. If the present net present value is positive, then we say it is the good project. So when discounted at the opportunity cost of the capital, this could be satisfactorily done, and provided that there is a correct estimates of the opportunity cost of the capital. So in the discounting, the rate should be the correct, it should be a proper, it should be basically opportunity cost of the capital, then it will be a very good result. And the net present worth is basically absolute measure, and it is not a relative measure. So we cannot compare this absolute value of the different projects. So based on this comparison of different project is it's little difficult, because we do not have a relative ratio here in the net present worth. And formula for the estimation of the NPW is like the P1, that is the net cash flow in the year, that is divided by the 1 plus I is to the power T1. So that is the T is the time period here. So here actually this formula we can use for every year, and we can get the some value of the net present worth, or net present value of the in the different years, to get the total net present worth of the value. So project with the net present worth are given weightage in the selection compared to those projects who have the negative present value. And while zero NPW makes the investor indifferent, because he cannot see any benefit or loss if there is a NPW is 0. Here we can see the estimation of the NPW for the spherical project, like this is a hypothetical project. So the duration we can see the 5 year, and the cost data is given, and the return data is given, and then net income we have calculated by doing the subtraction of cost from the return. So here we got the net income data, and then actually to discount this net income, or to discount this cash flow, basically we can calculate the discount factors, and here we are assuming the 12% is the discount rate. So here we can compare, we can calculate the discount factor. So for calculating discount factors, like we have seen in the formula, so the formula is 1 divided by 1 plus I is to power t. So in this manner, so I have given in the slide that 1 divided by 1 plus 12% is so our discount rate. So 12 divided by say, and then whole is to our 1 for the 1 year. So discount factors comes for the first year is 0.8929, and in similar manner for the second year the discount factors comes 0.7972. So in similar manners we can calculate the discount factor for all the years. And when we multiply the discount factor with the cash flow with the net income, we get the value of the net present worth for every year. And when we total when we do the summation of all the year the net present value, we get the total NPW of the projects, and that is here comes out to be 26,565.63. So here the NPW value is the positive, so we can choose this project in our hypothetical example. Now the NPW method or net present worth method is superior to the undiscounted method, though it has some limitation also. The data on the cash flow are not readily available from the financial statements of the company. Sometimes we don't find the data on the cash flows. So generally in that condition we estimates. So success of this criteria depend on how accurately we are measuring how correctly we are estimating the future cash flow estimates. And we are using a fixed discount rate over the entire period, which may give distorted results during the period of high volatility in the interest rate. So discount rates is basically we consider based on the interest rates, or there may be variation in the interest rate over the period of time. So giving a fixed discount rate is not appropriate, and it basically this method enables direct comparison between the mutually exclusive projects. So actually and then mutually exclusive project are those projects. So if there are two projects, so we can choose only one. We don't have much resources or don't have much capacity, or we have limited factor of production, so only one project can be adopted. So in that condition we can take the decision from that. And then we also assume that intermediate cash flow are reinvested firm's cost of capital, and actually in the NPW, selection of the appropriate discount rate is the key that play a key role. And the benefit cost ratio is another important techniques, and here we compare the present worth of the cost with the present worth of the benefit, and absolute value of the benefit cost change based on the interest rate or chosen. So that is important also. If discount rates change, the absolute value of the benefit or absolute value of the cost will change. So here basically the selection criteria of the project is that the BC ratio should be more than 1 when discounted at the opportunity cost of the capital. And finally, the project is opted for implementation among the alternative based on the highest BC ratio. If there are 2 projects or 3 projects here, which project should be selected? The project which is having the highest BC ratio will be selected for the final implementation. And formula is given here, like BC ratio is equal to summation of the benefit stream for every year, that is discounted using the formula like BT divided by 1 plus R is to the power n, and then this benefit, present worth of benefit, is divided by the present worth of the cost, and here that is again the formula is the summation of the different years present worth of the cost. So CT is divided by the 1 plus R is to the power n. So in this manner basically we can calculate the benefit cost ratio, and here the calculation is given, like the data is same like we have calculated the net present worth, and the cost data is given, the gross return is given, and we have already calculated the discount factors at the rate of 12% discount rate. And when we multiply this the cost stream with the discount factor, we get the present worth of the cost, and when we multiply the gross return with the discount factors, we get the present worth of gross return. And to find out the benefit cost ratio, basically we divide the present worth of the gross return with the present worth of the cost. So here in our example, so the present worth of gross return is 91,083.17, that is divided by the present worth of the cost, that is 64,517.56, and the benefit cost ratio is 1.41 in our example. So it is more than 1, so it is a worthwhile project to adopt for implementation. Next is the internal rate of return, and that is called as IRR in short, and it is basically time value of the money is accounted in the computation of the internal rate of return. So here we consider the time value of money, and basically IRR provides the knowledge of the actual rate of return from the different projects. So actually by calculating the internal rate of return, we get the actual rate of return, how much every year the return will be there from the project. So that is very important criteria, and this rate of return should be basically more than the the opportunity cost, or we can say the interest rate. And basically the IRR is the it's provide as a marginal efficiency of the capital, or it is basically yield on the investments. It give a productivity, we can say, and it is the discount rate at which the present value of the net cash flow are just equal to 0. So So for for this actually if NPW it is the discounted at which the NPW become 0, then it is the IRI, that is discounted become a IRR. So IRR is calculated by the trial and error with some approximation, and working principle is that the NPW is calculated and arbitrarily discounted basically, and the positive NPW value of the project indicates that the IRR is still higher. The next assumed arbitrary RR must be comparatively higher than the initial level, and this process is continued until NPW become negative, and then by interpolations method the exact IRR is found out using the formula. The formula is the the internal rate of return is equal to the lower discounted, that is lower discounted plus the difference between the two discounted, and this total of this lower discounted and the difference between two discounted is multiplied by with the ratio, and the ratio is like the present worth of the cash flow at the lower discounted, and that is divided with the absolute difference between the present worth of the cash flow at two discount rate. And here we have calculated the IRR, like we have the cost data, the gross return data, then we have calculated the net income or cash flow, and we have the we have assumed the lower discount rate here is the 40%. So we have calculated the discount rate, and then we have calculated the net present worth of the by multiplying the net income with the discount factors, and then the higher discount rate we have calculated like at the 43%. So again we have calculated the discount factor, then we multiplied the cash flow or net income with the discount factor at 43%, we get the net present worth. And when we put all this value in the formula, like 40 is the our lower discounted, and difference between two discount is 3. So 40 plus 3 that is multiplied with the value at the lower discounted net present value at a lower discounted, that is 1222.69, that is divided by the difference between the value of the two present value of the two at two discounted. So 1209 minus within bracket minus 121.46. So it becomes after calculation 42.7249. So 42.7949 is the actual rate of return from the project. So here IRR is the 42.72%. Next is the profitability index, and basically it relates the NPV of the cash flow or net present of the cash flow of the project to the total capital required of the project. So it is important index to some formula is the NPV divided by the initial investment, that is the CO here, and we get the profitability index. Then another measure is the net benefit investment ratio, and the net benefit investment ratio is just simple to determine, and when an incremental net benefit has already been calculated, like in the NP we have calculated, and to calculate this measure we divide the sum of the project worth after the incremental benefit stream has turned positive with the the sum of the present worth of the negative incremental net benefit in the early years of the project. So we get the this ratio. We can have a comparison of the discounted measures of the project worth, and the in the case of the NPW, IRR, BC ratio, and the NK ratio, net benefit investment ratio. And selection criteria in case of the NPW is the the NPW should be 0 or greater, it should be positive value, and IRR should be the greater than the opportunity cost, or we can say the interest rate, and BC ratio should be 1 or more than 1, and the net benefit ratio should also be 1 or more than 1 to find the in the good project. And whether we can do the ranking using this, NPW do not provide the proper ranking, because they are basically the absolute the results are the absolute figure, not the ratio. So, and IRR actually we can do the ranking of the project, but may not provide the correct ranking. In the BC ratio also, we can do the ranking, but may not provide the correct. And the again, net benefit ratio also we can do the ranking. And in case of the mutually exclusively alternative projects, we can accept the alternative project which are having the larger NPW, and IRR cannot be used directly to select the mutually exclusive project. And here in case of BC ratio also we cannot use directly, as in similar NK ratio also we cannot do directly to select the mutually exclusive alternative. And in case of the discount rate, actually we should find out the suitable discount rate in all the on all the criteria, so that we can have the correct estimation. And we can sum up the session that the project having varying duration of the cost and benefit cannot be chosen based on the undiscounted criteria. That's why actually we need to consider the time value of the money, and we need to convert the future stream of the cost and benefit of the different alternative projects into the present value. And there are different methods like NPW, BC ratio, internal rate of return, profitability index, and net benefit investment ratio. These are the common discounting techniques, and actually we need to follow certain precaution while using this technique for choosing the projects for implementation. Like we should use the combination of different techniques, and also we should be careful in selecting the discount rate. Thank you very much.